I'm breaking out, I'm breaking in. I just can't help this state I'm in. I'm on my way, y'all. So put your shades on, this light's so bright, it's blinding. I'm radiating love, I'm radiating love, I'm radiating love. Breaking free, I'm breaking ground. I can't explain this thing I found. The clouds have moved on. I got my groove on. This pep in my steps infectious. I'm radiating love. I'm radiating love. I'm radiating love. I've been stuck in a rut. I've been shit out of luck. I've been wondering what is up with me. And then I realize it's up to me to decide. I can just be radiating love. I'm radiating love. I'm radiating love. Radiating love, radiating love, radiating love, radiating love.
You are an irresistible magnet with the power to attract unto yourself everything, absolutely everything that you desire. Good morning, happy Sunday, and welcome to the New Thought Spiritual Center Sunday celebration. I'm Reverend Jay Willick. I am the founding senior minister and spiritual leader here at the New Thought Spiritual Center. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are radiating love. Are you radiating love? I'm not sure if you got to hear our pre-show song, Radiate. Is such a great song, and that's what we're about here. Well, we're about a lot of things, and we'll talk about that in a second, but we're about radiating love, because love is the essence, love is the power, love is what we need to be aware of. Our theme for the month, awareness, aware of in all parts of our lives. We'll talk about more with that during my talk, et cetera, and we have Reverend Barbara Altman with us today, and she's going to talk to us about some stuff. I'm not sure what that is, but I'm excited to hear. Welcome. We are so happy that you are here with us, enjoying our time and our celebration here on Sunday. So if you're new to the New Thought Spiritual Center, then you might know, what's this all about? What do you guys do? What do you guys feel about? What's your perspective on life? And I have a little teeny short video about that. So take a watch about our purpose, our vision, and our mission. Our 2020 theme is perception.
Our purpose is to reveal the divinity in you by awakening our heart, mind, and imagination to the universal creative force within. Our vision is to vibrate at the speed of the divine, experiencing our best self by being a clear, luminous, and dynamic force for good, with love always being the answer. And our mission, to use the principles and tools of the science of mind and spirit, new thought, neuroscience, and ancient wisdom to bust through, soar, and zoom into our greatest life, sharing that gift with all.
That's right. We're here to share that gift with all. And this month we are highlighting our vision statement, which is to vibrate at the speed of the divine. We're going to talk about vibrating at the speed of the divine, what that is all about a little later on this morning. So at this time, I'm really feeling the need to pray here. So join me in an affirmative prayer. We call this spiritual mind treatment. It's an affirmative prayer. We are affirming in our mind, in our hearts, in our gut, in our life, that which we have decided to reveal in our lives. So join us. Take a deep breath with me and let it out. Do this for me. We're going to wake up our minds and our bodies by not just taking a deep breath. I know people do that all the time. It seems to clear things up. But let's yawn together. Let's do a great big yawn. That actually not only, just like a deep breath, it not only opens our minds and our bodies, but it makes our brain open up. This is a neuroscience thing. Makes our brains open up. So you may not feel like yawning. You're going to do an as if. You're going to fake a yawn, but that's just as good. Are you ready? Join me. Here we go. Yeah, that's a release. That's an opening. That makes those neurons zip and zap and slide and open up and be joyous. So close your eyes if it's comfortable for you and join me in knowing that the power of the universe is vast, is infinite, is all-knowing, all-being, and is within each and every one of us right here and right now. This power of love, this power of knowing, this power of inspiring, this power of light and beauty and wisdom resides in each and every one of us right here and right now, never goes away. And in this residence, this spirit, this soul, this beingness brings into us this hour of power, this hour where we dig in, where we step in, where we dive in, where we soak ourselves in the love of the divine. We soak ourselves in the beauty of the divine. We soak ourselves in the wisdom that reveals, that informs, that brings to light in our lives all the wonderful things, all the magical things, all the wise ideas we need to know, we need to bring into our lives right here and right now. We are available to that. We are opened to that. And in this moment, we intentionally touch upon that, bringing whatever it is we require in our lives, whatever it is we want to reveal in our lives, whatever it is we are declaring for our lives to step into our lives right now, into our experience, free and easy, with love and compassion and grace. So I gratefully release this word to the law that says yes, the law that says, I hear you, I am listening, yes, I am on it. We release our word to that, grateful for this knowing, for this being, for this light and love. As together we release our word with these words, and so it is. Amen. Hallelujah. Oh, Ashe. Ashe. Amen. Let us now, in this moment, step into a sacred moment in our service today, in our celebration, in our gathering, in our community. I'm going to ring the bell, and then we're going to step into some guided meditation. A guided meditation that centers ourselves, yes, but also brings us in communion which is what I'm going to talk about today. Being in communion with spirit, with the presence, with the universe, whatever you want to call it. So here we go. This month I am picking passages out of this book called Awareness by Anthony DeMello. So let's once again take a deep breath. Hold it in for 3, 2, 1, and then let it out through your mouth. Join me in a second one. Breathe in. Holding it. 3, 2, 1, and then letting it out. Go ahead, make a noise, make a sound. Third time, breathe in. And let it go. If you would join me in rubbing your hands together, you'll feel the warmth, you'll feel the friction, you'll feel the heat of energy. And stop and slowly let your hands come apart. And you'll feel that energy still there, still grasping on each of your palms as you allow your hands to part. If you haven't already, close your eyes or put them at a soft focus. You can watch the moving mandala if you'd like. Scoot yourself in your chair a little bit. Center yourself, make yourself comfortable. Put your feet on the ground or cross your legs together. What we want to do is attach ourselves, connect ourselves with Mother Earth. So with our feet on the ground or cross-legged so that we are completely engulfed within our bodily selves, we can connect to the Mother Gaia, to our planet, and also allow that energy from around us, that universal cosmic energy, allow that to flow into you. Call for it. And breathe. You may hear more than the sound of my voice, the music of the mandala, breath, heartbeat. And those other sounds you may hear, that's okay. Allow those sounds to just be. In his book, Awareness, Anthony Mandela wrote this. Saint Teresa of Avila said God gave her the grace of disidentifying herself with herself. You hear children talk that way. A 2-year-old says Tommy had his breakfast this morning. He doesn't say I, although he is Tommy. He says, Tommy, in the third person. Mystics feel that way. They have disidentified from themselves and they are at peace. This was the grace Saint Teresa was talking about. This is the I that the mystic masters of the East are constantly urging people to discover, and those of the West too. And you can count Meister Eckhart among them. They are urging people to discover the I. I am that I am. I am that I am. I am. I am. I am. I am that I am. I am that which is the precious creation of all life. I am that creation. I am that power. I am that light. I am. I am. I. At this moment, if you would all put your hands on your heart or a hand on your heart, bring into your thoughts the name of someone or something or an organization, an idea that needs healing at this moment. Please bring that name into your mind, into your heart. We know that at the moment that this name decides it requires healing is the moment that this energy that we are projecting at this very time brings the healing power of the universe to them, to it. It is a power unsurpassed anywhere, to any knowledge of anyone. This healing light of love and power and grace and ease comes to this idea, this person, this organization that is named in the heart of all. Our community, the people in our community, the people outside our community, this healing light is present, bringing into their lives that which they require right now, which they call out for, which they declare, which they are revealing into their lives, into their organization, into their ideas. Character is brought in. Medical assistance is brought in. Emotional caring is brought in. Compassion is brought in. Ideas, inspiration, knowledge, expertise, whatever is required, whatever is declared, whatever has been said to be revealed. This healing power is present in this name, which we speak in our hearts. They are healed, my friends. They are healed. We take this final breath in our guided meditation, knowing that who or whatever name is in our hearts is the I am that I am. And we take a deep breath together. Slowly let it out. Knowing this is so. So it is. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. Slowly open your eyes. Come back to me. Welcome back. Do you feel that healing power? I feel it. I'm not sure how many are out there. There are some numbers up there, but these numbers are always partial. But there's a great many of you out there, and I thank you so much for participating, not only in the guided meditation, but in this healing knowingness, this healing prayer, this healing awareness that we have, because this month is about awareness. And I'm also aware right now that we have a special sacred reader with us, our own Reverend Barbara Altman, who is coming to us live from Sherman Oaks.
Hello.
And she's got some sacred stuff going on, and I'm going to leave it to you. Thank you so much for being here, my friends. Reverend Barbara.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. Today, I am talking about awareness and about feelings, especially those feelings that we don't necessarily like to feel. Anger, anxiety, grief. And I know that with everything that's going on politically, socially, there's been a lot of people passing lately. I know I've been having some challenges at work, and our cat Holly passed on Tuesday, and we miss her very much. And I'm not saying this because I, need or want any sympathy, because why I'm saying it is because I want to be very, very honest about spirituality. It's not that things aren't going to happen that bring up those emotions. It's not that when you're spiritual, everything is rosy and hunky-dory and everything's wonderful. In truth, because I've done the spiritual work, I know that even when these things come up, I can feel my feelings, and that in the midst of these feelings, I also know that God is, that I am, and that is so much greater than any event or situation or feeling that's going on. The struggles always pass, always. And in knowing that there is something greater, there is a peace in that knowing. I know from practice and from experience that that light is always there. But I also know that we need to allow ourselves to experience whatever it is that we're feeling, to be aware of it. John Kabat-Zinn, who is very big proponent of mindfulness, he says, we must be willing to encounter darkness and despair when they come up and face them over and over again if need be, without running away or numbing ourselves in the thousands of ways we conjure up to avoid the unavoidable. He also says to allow ourselves to be truly in touch with where we already are, no matter where that is. We've got to pause in our experience long enough to let the present moment sink in, long enough to actually feel the present moment, to see it in its fullness, to hold it in awareness, and thereby come to know and understand it better. Even in sorrow, when I'm in touch with where I am, it goes easier. And knowing that what we resist persists, if we allow our feelings and do our spiritual practice, we can feel the light inside the dark. And I know that there is always, always peace on the other side and right where we are now. Howard Thurman wrote, in the stillness of the quiet, if we listen, we can hear the whisper of the heart, giving strength to weakness, courage to fear, hope to despair. Now, I believe that in order to experience the fullness of life, in order to feel deep, deep joy, we need to allow ourselves to feel the sorrow when it comes up. If we stifle one, we stifle the other, and we stifle ourselves. We're all of it. All of the colors in the palette. We are all of it. The fullness of who we are is greater than any single event, thought, or feeling that we may be experiencing. And when I commune with that something greater, with that fullness of who I am, of who God is, when I connect to that through awareness, through mindfulness, through meditation and prayer, when I connect with that divine within, I connect with the fullness of all that is. And I'd like to end with another quote from John Kabat-Zinn. He says, practice sharing the fullness of your being, your best self, your enthusiasm, your vitality, your spirit, your trust, your openness. Above all, your presence. Share it with yourself, your family, with the world. So in that spirit of sharing, I would like to share Jay's beautiful affirmation. There we go. I am mindful of how magnificent I am. I am mindful of the gratitude that I have. I am mindful of the faith and ease which dominates my thinking and the deep feelings with which I back my desires. I am mindful of the power that is within me and the love that surrounds me. With this mindfulness, I lead a life of health, prosperity, creativity, love, peace, and honor. In the vast infinity of life, perfection, wholeness, and completeness reign supreme. And today I continue to be mindful of my part in it all. Beautiful. Very powerful affirmation. And now, if you'd like to join me in prayer, just deep breath in and release it. And again. And just relaxing into this perfect moment right here, where we are, as we are, knowing that God is here within us and all around us at all times. I know that we are guided, guarded, and upheld in this love, in this infinite, deep love. That no matter what is going on all around us, that there is this peace at the center of our being that anchors us, that guides us, that lives and breathes through us as us. We are divine in every moment. And I, right here and right now, know that peace, joy, love, light, life is our birthright. I know that we are always right where we need to be with what we need in order to live a full and beautiful life. There is nothing lacking. We have all we need right here within us and all around us, that we are supported at all times by that divinity that we are, that we contact in everything we see, in our relationships, in our work and our creativity, in each and every day. Life is, love is, God is, we are. And I just take a moment to embrace and accept that love that is so deep, that is so infinite. And I am grateful for this truth, for this love, for this light, for everything that we are, for the fullness of life. And I just release this and allow it to be. And so it is.
And so it is. So great. Let me soak that in just a little bit more. That was so great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Wow. You know what? I received a video last night, and it was sent to me by our musical guest today, Steve Apperson. Steve, you may know, you would recognize the name at least. He directs our broadcast, and he's with us at least once a month with a brand new song. And he sent me this video, and it came really late last night, and I didn't get a chance to look at it. And I am taking it on total faith that whatever or whoever this band is that Steve is pushing is the perfect band for us and the perfect song for us today. So let's run this and watch it for the first time together. A brand new song, evidently, and a brand new band.
I saw the red light. Here we go, all of it. Good morning, everybody. A little rock and roll edge for a Sunday morning.
time to really look around you. Realize exactly how and what you feel. Remind yourself how you think is what will guide you to hold your peace with the strength of living the truth. It's time to pay real close attention. Realize the full cause and effect. Use your mind to ease your apprehensions and have the wherewithal to be the strength of the truth. The strength of the truth. We can rejoice because we have choice. Lift up your voice. Heart filled with the glory sound. You can't be afraid while it's raining. This beautiful madness around us. Create those conditions and adjust those decisions. Because first thought will always should round up. It's time to delve a little deeper, redefine how things are to go. We can't find all the answers and solutions as we ride the evolution of living the strength of the truth. The strength of the truth. We can rejoice. We always have choice. So lift up your voice. Heart that makes the loudest sound. It's time to really look around you and realize exactly how and what you feel. Remind yourself how you think is what will guide you to hold your flame of peace with the strength of the truth. Feeling the strength of the truth. Living the strength of the truth. Believing the strength of the truth. Bobby Yost on the backbeat drums. William Lindbergh, beautiful guitar. Stevie Me all in between. Rock and Roll Sunday. Have at it.
The Strength of the Truth, Rock and Roll Sunday from Apperheny Hall. I actually did see that video earlier. But so fun, great song, great new song by Steve Apperson. And thank you to the band for joining us for that video. Perfect. The strength of the truth. What is the strength of the truth? You are the strength of the truth. We are the strength of the truth. This philosophy, this idea, what we speak about is truth. It comes into fact, but it's truth. It's beyond fact. It's truth. So we live in this strength of the truth. Meister Eckhart said, between God and me, there is no in between. That is the truth. That is the truth. Between God and me, there's no between. That word does not fit in any discussion about the divine presence within each and every one of us. When we commune with the divine presence, we're communing with our highest self. That is what is within each and every one of us, that part of us that is really all of us. That sense of self with kind of the big S, self, not the self as in just my body, just my name, my profession, that self, but the greatest and the greater self, that which is inseparable from the divine, from God. I'm going to use that word a lot this morning, God. So if you don't like the word God for whatever reason, replace that. You can replace it with television. You can replace it with dog. You can replace it with nature. You can replace it with divine presence. Whatever word you want to replace it with, go ahead. God. Our communing with divine presence, with God, is our bridge to that divine intelligence that is within us. Yes, whatever we're thinking, whatever is going on in our lives, God is there. We are all part of it. But our intentional communion with that divine intelligence is what bridges any gap between what we have decided we want to require in our lives, declare into our lives, our dreams, even our hopes and wishes. There is possibly a gap between, especially with hopes and wishes, between thinking it and having it, experiencing it. But the divine in you is revealing itself as you all the time. It's a communion between us and all of creation. Doesn't happen just between me and God, but you and God, all of us and God. So I want to ask you what you've done lately to commune with your self, with the big S, your highest self, to exchange intimate thoughts and feelings on a deep spiritual level with the divine in you. Yes, all your thoughts are heard, just like I said before, but it's that intentional, purposeful use of this communication that I'm talking about. Because we all have barriers to connecting with the divine intelligence. We begin our lives, depending on what philosophy we are brought in, by praying to God. And then as we begin to transform our thinking, we start praying through God, and eventually we transcend so that we are praying with and ultimately as God. When we realize that each and every one of us and God are one, there is an at-one-ment. So what can we do to release any barriers that we have in this communion? Well, we have to remember that God is where we are, who we are, all the time. Each of us is God showing up as Jay or PJ or Barbara or Steve, Caressa, whatever. And this divine intelligence continues to flow no matter what is happening in our lives. It doesn't matter if our lives suck right now or if everything is fabulous and our pockets are full of money and our health is vibrant and fabulous. It matters not. God is always with us. God is always there. God is always a part of that experience. In the Science of Mind book, Dr. Holmes says, we are in an infinite mind, and infinite mind is also in us. It is by this mind that we think. Now, he's not talking about the brain mind. He's talking about the greater mind, that which the brain computes, that which the brain is used to bring into our awareness. He continues with, this mind is eternal, therefore we are eternal. This mind is complete, therefore we are spiritually complete, though we do not appear to be so. Though we may not appear to be so, might be a little more proper. Although many people believe we are not complete. Perfect, whole, and complete. That's what we are spiritually. That's what we are born as in a spiritual sense. How we connect, how we commune with that perfection, with that wholeness, with that completeness is what I'm talking about today. How we take communion to that idea. You know, between our body and our soul or our essence, there's no in between there. There's no duality between our bodily experience and our spiritual experience. And when we understand that our spiritual identity is one with the divine, then we realize we're never really alone because God's always there. We're each filled with the power, the presence, the love, the joy, the beauty, the wisdom of the divine. It's right there. It's with us. And it's unique with us, uniquely with us, but at the same time is with all. It is individually with us, but it really is indistinguishable with anybody else's experience of it. We're like a flask that's ready to be filled. So I want us to take communion seriously. Now, I know you, especially those who brought up in Catholicism, you're thinking about communion as this whole thing with the wafer and the prayer and the drinking the wine and all that represents. But realize that that is a ritual for you to take in and communicate with God. Really, that's ultimately what's going on. You are connecting yourself intentionally and purposefully with that highest power that is within you, but communing with it so that everything that's going on in your life is through that idea, through that power, through that wisdom. Meister Eckhart wrote, the most powerful prayer, it's not the quote you're thinking, the most powerful prayer, one well nigh omnipotent, he says, and the worthiest work of all is the outcome of a quiet mind. The quieter it is, the more powerful, the worthier, the deeper, the more telling and more perfect the prayer is. Now, let's not think of prayer as even spiritual mind treatment. Prayer can be a combination of things. Spiritual mind treatment, affirmative prayer, is a tool, a tool with steps in it to bring into our lives, to reveal into our lives healing and intuition, wisdom, etc., etc. But you can do that without actively using that specific tool. So don't get confused with the idea of prayer. Continuing with Meister Eckhart, he says, to the quiet mind, all things are possible. What is a quiet mind? A quiet mind is one which nothing weighs on, nothing worries, which free from ties and from all seeking is wholly merged with God. And in that merging, no deed is too small, no deed is too large, no idea. All ideas, actually, are significant. The quiet mind is a trusting mind in ourselves, remembering who we are, ourselves as God. We are God. We are an individualization of that power and that presence that created everything. And when we open our hearts, when we quiet our minds and our souls, we receive purposefully the love, joy, and wisdom. I'm not saying that it's not there when we're not in some sort of prayer or spiritual practice. What I'm saying is the power of it and how we use it, how we want to reveal it into our lives is on purpose.
is in intention when we are in communion. And thus, we can also release any barriers or old stories that we've told ourselves that get in the way of experiencing our best life. Whatever that looks like, you get to decide what that looks like for you. And this open and quiet mind allows us to truly feel the divine connection that is actually always there, to the divine intelligence, to divine wisdom, to the presence, the source and substance of all, whatever you want to call it. And thus, we are in the position to receive our greatest good as we describe it. And that could be a goal, that could be love, that could be bodily healing, that could be a financial thing, that could be in some sort of creativity, a job, relationships, whatever. Some people prefer solitude. They say their peace of mind depends on this. Others say they would be better off in church. If you do well wherever you are. If you fail wherever you are. Your surroundings don't matter, for God is with you everywhere, in the marketplace as well as in seclusion or in the church, or right here and now. If you look for nothing but God, nothing or no one can disturb you. God is not distracted. God is everywhere. God is not distracted by a multitude of things. God can handle everything. God can multitask. That is kind of a little bit of Meister Eckhart there. I love that quote. I love that idea. Nothing can distract God. God can handle it all. Whatever you need handled, turn it over to the universe. Do your part in mind and body, in finding allies and in taking action here and there, but your biggest action, your strongest action is in your communion. And communion is like bandwidth, bandwidth in the internet. It's kind of there's a range of frequencies going on, but there's a signal that only you can submit to your highest self. Yes, we all share that highest self in that it is God, but your signal is the one that has to be boosted. And when we boost our signal for bandwidth on the internet coming into our home, we pay with money. We pay money for a stronger signal. And there is a coinage to pay, but that coinage is mental in that bandwidth for our communion with God. We must widen that bandwidth with the power of conviction, the power of our spiritual practice, the power of our love and compassion. When we have love and compassion and kindness and respect for one another, for our community, we are communing with God, with that divine spirit. And in that communication comes our greatest intelligence, our greatest beauty, our greatest revelations of wonderful experiences in our lives. More Meister Eckhart. Big Meister Eckhart today. God is at home. It's we who have gone out for a walk. It is we who are mind wandering, versus dreaming. Dreaming is active. Dreaming is using our imagination in an intentional way. Mind wandering is it's not a bad thing, mind wandering, but when we want to be intentional, when we want to commune with God, then we want to be on purpose. We don't want to be
out for a walk. We can do it walking, but we don't want to be out for a walk. We don't want to be away from home. Home. To realize God is not just living, but God is life, is to experience a connection to God. That's how we break our barriers. Happiness is a state of mind. Joy is a state of being at one with the presence within. And joy, we heal anything that is ill or diseased, not just in our bodies, but in our lives in general. To realize God is truth, absolute, and ready to serve is to commune with Spirit. When your gut feeling speaks, listen to it. Listen to that inspiration it brings. When you seek inspiration, open your heart. Get quiet in mind, not necessarily what's around you, but in mind. And listen. In the silence, there is peace. In the silence, there is unspoken joy. In the silence, there's release from a world full of chaos and noise. To experience love and compassion is to experience a connection to God. Got unanswered prayers? Remember, life and truth expresses itself through each of us. And when we practice love every day, when we watch our thoughts, watch our tongues, our deeds, our words, our prayers, so that nothing contrary to love finds expression there, we are communing with God. When you clearly realize that this is an intelligent universe, run in principle, you experience your connection with God. This is a principle. This is a principle like gravity, like the idea that a triangle is 180-degree angles, 3 of them. That makes a triangle. Matters not if that triangle was drawn 80,000 years ago or yesterday. Spirit has no limitation, my friends, and is infinite, all-knowing, timeless, boundless, unconditional with its love. It is the source and substance of our supply. It is the creation of all, the manifesting, the manifester of our beliefs without exception. It doesn't change its stripes like the triangle. When we realize God is a soul spirit, we experience our connection with God. We're spirit, you're spirit, I'm spirit. Spirit cannot die. Spirit never goes away. Our true self was really never born and will never die. Our highest self was never born and can never die. In that space, we are eternal, we are divine, we are unchanging spirit. That's our true nature. Richard Rohr wrote in his book, Immortal Diamond, The Search for Our True Self, all we humans are doing is allowing God to complete the circuit within us until we both see from the same perspective. Perspective. What is our perspective? When our perspective of life is through, as, and with our communion with that divine spirit, with God, that's when things really vibrate at the speed of the divine. That's things when really start showing up. That's when we really start busting through, soaring through life. When we have that diamond in our mind. When you feel out of it, when you have unanswered prayers, it's like you're looking out on the street through a window made of fluted glass. Ever seen fluted glass? Or if you look from under through a glass, through the bottom of a glass, it's a distortion. There's this distortion. And sometimes we see life in this distorted way because our perception is through this idea of not being connected, and this not being connected, not communing with God. It's a false vision, and it causes us to know that, well, it causes us to see life as an illusion. It's an illusion to the degree that we allow it to be. This is the truth. This is the truth, and you might not be able to see it on the bottom, but some of this idea is written right here in the gold. And again, this is Meister Eckhart. And the full quote is, "The eye with which I see God is the same with which God sees me. My eye and God's eye is one eye and one sight and one knowledge and one love." My eye and God's eye is one eye and one sight and one knowledge and one love. But do you want that to be all the time? Then you have to commune with God purposefully. You don't want to do it in a prayer? Fine. You do it in meditation, you do it in mindfulness, you do it with being out in nature, but you feel that energy. You're not stuck in the idea of goals and things like that distract you, actually. In many ways distract you, bring on chaos. There's a quietness, there's a silence, there's a power, there's a beauty, there is a love that in a communion with God, a purposeful, intentional communion, however that takes place, that power comes to you, that perspective and perception of life as something that is for you becomes the preeminent idea of your life, the perception and the perspective of your life. If some responsibility or task seems too great for you, relax and surrender to life. Remain in the now. Commune with divine energy, the universal flow. Radiate with an open heart. Cut through to clarity by communing with Source. Remember, realize, reconnect to that idea that you are one with God. And then that task does not become just your task, just your business. It becomes our business. It becomes the universe's business. And all of the education and the ideas, all of the resources of the universe then start coming to you, then start showing up for you, whatever that looks like, in people, in ideas, in knowledge, in education, in perspective. And when those things happen you're looking through that distorted glass, then go outside or go somewhere and laugh and howl and be a warrior to an open heart and a liberated soul. Cry out, express yourself. Get it out there to commune with spirit, to commune with life, to open yourself up to that which will further empower you, because you're always empowered, but intentionally empower you to take that next step that is not distracted by the illusion of seeing something through a distorted glass. Remember, when you speak to yourself, you speak to God, and you speak as God. That's important. That's powerful. That's going to take you in a direction. When you realize that, when you purposefully change that, those words, those thoughts, those ideas, and thus those beliefs that don't work for you anymore, that get in your way of a happy life, of a life of grace, of a life full of love and accomplishments and transcending. That is taking communion. That is the true sense of taking communion. Let's do it. Let's do it right now, forevermore, intentionally, on purpose, with love. Take communion and live your best life. Namaste. So, a quick reminder after that The affirmative incantation or affirmation, if you want to continue calling it that is fine. Our affirmative incantation that we have every week is something for you to take into your heart twice a day, I would say. It'd take you less than 5 minutes to get through it. And I make them a little bit longer than the usual affirmation on purpose because we are bringing the seemingly impossible, because you read some of those and you go, well, I'm not sure I'm there yet. Yeah, you're there because you declare it to be there. You're there because in this incantation, in the act of the affirmative incantation, you are communing with God. You are communing with that source and substance of your supply. You are communing with that divine intelligence to bring into your life anything that is being said in those words, in that affirmation, in that affirmative incantation, that somehow maybe you don't see in the facts of your 3D reality. We have to know it first. We have to understand it first. We have to have it in our hearts first and in our guts first, in this divine matrix first, before it shows up in our lives. We have to pay in mental and heartfelt coin, be informed of our work to do above and beyond this knowing and this communion, and do it and be it and live it. That's what these affirmative incantations are for, to step us up and take communion. My friends, I'd love to give you the opportunity now to bring your love offering to us. I received one this morning when I woke up, which was beautiful, and thank you so much. But right now, during our spiritual celebration here, take your tithe, your contribution, whatever it is, your love offering, and if you don't have it in your hand, take your hand, place it upon your heart. These contributions come from your heart. I know the actual money may come out of some bank account somewhere, but the idea of it, the act of it, must come from your heart, because that's where we want it from, where it does the greatest work from, where it comes back to you from, is from the heart. I want to show you a few ways you can send your contribution, and then we'll get down to that contribution itself. Steve, if you bring that up, there are several ways you can do that. You can go to our website, newthoughtsc.org. There's a donation button up there, and it'll take you to PayPal, and you can use your credit card there. You don't have to have a PayPal account. Or you can go directly to paypal.me/newthoughtsc. That'll take you directly to your PayPal account. And then once you push all the buttons and do your thing, it'll send it directly to the New Thought Spiritual Center account, because there's a connection there. You can also use the Givelify app if you have that, and then that'll go directly to us, your love offering. And like I said before and many times, go ahead, do it the old-fashioned way. We love it. We get checks in the mailbox all the time. And you can do that by sending it to our office, New Thought Spiritual Center, 4821 Lancashire Boulevard, Suite. You can just put the number sign F133. We're in North Hollywood, California, 91601. Go ahead and send a check, no problem. You send what you can send. You send what your heart tells you to send. So let's, again, if you haven't removed it, or if you haven't put it there, put your hand on your heart and let us say this prayer together. Divine love consecrates my gift. It goes forth to heal, prosper, and bless. It is evidence of my conviction that God is the source and substance of my supply. And so I joyously contribute to the vision of my spiritual center, the New Thought Spiritual Center. knowing that it returns to me multiplied abundantly. And as you send that through and from your heart, it too will return back to your heart and thus into your life and your pocketbook. So I want to bring back Reverend Barbara to do a little prayer over these beautiful contributions and tithes and love offerings that you have brought to us. And here she is. Is your mic on? I don't have my glasses.
Is it?
There you go. You are
there.
on. You are on. I'm raising this up as a representation of everybody's wonderful contributions, and show us
In gratitude for the gifts and for the givers, knowing that as we consciously give, as we openly give, so do we receive, and that gift returns to us multiplied abundantly, deeply. And I am so grateful for all of it. And I just release this in gratitude, in love. And together we say, and so it is.
And so it is. Thank you for your brilliance and your wisdom, Barbara, Reverend Barbara. She'll be back 2 weeks from now to sing us some song. I'm very happy about that. Our last announcement for today, our only announcement for today. No, I want to thank you. I want to thank Steve, and you'll see Steve one more time, Steve Apperson in the band, and not only for their music this week and this beautiful brand new song that he wrote for us this month, but for his work here in the broadcast. And thank you all for joining us. Don't forget to subscribe, like, join, all those great things on social media. And whoops, go back. You went too far, Steve. There you go. There it is. Give it a second. There it is. There it tells you everything. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. We're there. We're ever there. We're on YouTube Live right now. We're on Facebook Live on 2 channels. Like us, subscribe to us. It helps us. It brings our attention to others of us and our vision and our mission and our purpose and our community. And thank you and bless you all. So let's together take a deep breath. Let's together know that we are aware. We are aware of the energy that is there right here, right now for us. And in this awareness, we now intentionally and on purpose commune with this idea, with this truth, with this divine intelligence, with creation, with God, the source and substance of everything in our lives. We commune with that power, with that energy right now, so that we can vibrate at the speed of it, at the speed of its creation, the speed of its power, the speed of its love, the speed of the grace and the ease of life. Not always easy, maybe, up to us, but the ease of life, the ease of going through all of our experience, positive or negative or in between. And our use of this energy and this power in this prayer right here, right now, and any other mindful prayers and communions of any sort with this power, that it brings this ease and this love and this healing and this energy and this vibration of success into our lives. We are prosperous in all parts of our lives because we've decided to be. We have declared it to be. We have revealed it in this and other communions with God. And we are aware of this power and presence in our lives, and we connect to it wholeheartedly. Grateful for this knowing, grateful for this awareness, grateful for this being, grateful for being in communion. I release this word. Release us all to our greatest life, as together we say, and so it is. Ashe, Omain, Namaste. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a blessed, blessed week. I appreciate you, my beloveds. We're going to leave with a song dedicated to John Lennon, a song of John Lennon's. It would have been his 80th birthday this week. We also dedicate this to all of our loves, all of our departed, all of our loves in our lives, whether they are here on this planet right now or not. They are always here because they are always a part of our love. Now I have to put my glasses on so I can cut us to Apperheny Hall. And here he is, Steve Apperson.
And love is real. Real is love. Love is feeling. Feeling love. Love is wanting to be loved. Love is touch. Touch is love. Love is reaching. Reaching love. Love is asking to be loved. Love is you. You and me. Love is knowing that we can be. Love is free. Free is love. Love is living. Living love. Love is needing.